Hello friends, today we are going to discuss regarding the MCQs or objective type of question on chapter solubility of the drugs. These questions are useful for GPAT and NIPER preparation and all other for government pharmacist examination like your drug inspector and ESIC. So question number one, that is to dissolve one part of the solute, 30 to 100 parts of the solvents are required. Then as per the USP, the solubility can be expressed as option A soluble, B sparingly soluble, C freely soluble, and D it is a slightly soluble. So you guess it right, that is it is option B is correct, that is a sparingly soluble. So there are seven classes as per the USP based on the to dissolve one part of the solute, how many parts of the solvents are required. If it is less than one part required, it is called as very soluble. 1 to 10, it is freely soluble. Then 10 to 30, it is soluble. 30 to 100, sparingly soluble. 100 to 1000, it is slightly soluble. 1000 to 10,000, it is insoluble. And more than 10,000, it is practically insoluble. Question 2. Which of the following is are type or types of the van der Waals forces? Option A, London, B, Dubai, C, Kisum, or D, it is your all of the above. Again, you guess it right. That is correct answer is D, all of the above. So these are the three types. Kisum forces are also called as the dipole-dipole interaction. Dipole, it is called as a dipole induced dipole interaction, and London type of the forces are called as the induced dipole interaction. Next, the magnitude of van der Waals forces is okay. Option A 1 to 10 calorie per mole. Option B 1 to 10 1 to 2 calorie per mole. C option C 1 to 10 kilocalorie per mole, and option D it is 1 to 5 kilocalorie per mole. Okay. So the correct answer is option C, that is 1 to 10 kilocalorie per mole. So these forces are comparatively it is very weak. So that's why its magnitude of the forces it is from 1 to 10 calorie per mole. This question it was asked in GPAT examination. Question number 4. Effect of the pressure on solubility of the gas in the liquid is expressed by. So option A, Boyle's law. Option B, Charles' law. C, it is your Avogadro's law. And option D, it is your Henry's law. So guess it right. And the option correct answer is option D. That is your Henry's law. So these Boyle's, Charles, and the Avogadro's law. These are the basic laws of the gas. While Henry's law express the effect of the pressure on solubility of the gas in the liquid. Question number 5. Gibbs phase rule equation is expressed by option A. It is a F is equals to C minus B plus 2. B is C is equals to F minus B plus 2. C is F is equals to C plus P minus 2. And option D, it is P is equals to C minus P plus 2. Again, uh, the correct answer is option A, that is F is equals to C minus P plus 2. So in this equation, F it is the degree of freedom, or it is also called the number of independent variables. C it is stands for the number of components, and P stands for the number of phases. Question number 6. State the conditions at triple point of the water. Option A 0.0098 degrees Celsius and 760 mm of Hg. Option B 0.00 degrees Celsius and 760 mm of Hg. Option C 0.0098 degrees Celsius and 4.58 mm of Hg. And option D it is 0.0098 degree Farad and 4.58 mm of Hg. So the correct answer is option C, that is 0.0098 degrees Celsius and 4.58 mm of Hg. So triple point means that is all the three phases, that is solid, liquid and the vapor, are coexist under the state of your equilibrium, and it is occurs at the specific temperature and the pressure that is given in the option C. Next, CST means the option A, minimum temperature at which two phases are exist. Option B, maximum temperature at which two phases are exist. Option C, minimum temperature at which one phase is exist. And the option D, it is a maximum temperature at which one phase that is are exist. Okay, so you can say that is the correct answer is, that is the correct answer is B, that is maximum temperature at which two phases are exist. Okay, this is as per the definition of the CST. CST it is also called as the UCT, that is upper constituted temperature. Question 8, that is in Raoult's law. in case of your positive deviation. Okay, so as you know that there are two deviations, positive deviation and negative deviation. So in case of your positive deviation, option A, cohesive forces are more than the adhesive forces. Option B, cohesive forces are less than adhesive forces. Option C, cohesive forces and adhesive forces are equal. And D, it is your independent on the forces. So the correct answer, is your A. That is your cohesive forces are more than the adhesive forces. Okay, that's why we are getting the positive deviation. The vapor pressure of the resultant solution, it is more than that is expected. In that case, the cohesive forces are more than the adhesive forces. Question number 9. In a negative derivation of the Raoult's law, which type of bond will form between the chloroform and the acetone? Okay, so first it is your option A, ionic bond. B, it is your covalent bond. Option C, it is your coordinate bond. And option D, it is your hydrogen bond. So you guess it right. That is correct answer is D. That is your hydrogen bond. So there is a in chloroform the hydrogen that is present in the chloroform and the oxygen that is present in the acetone. So there is a possibility of the formation of your hydrogen bond. So due to the formation of hydrogen bond, the vapor pressure of the resultant solution is decreases. And that's why we are getting the negative deviation. Question number 10. As per the Raoult's law, the partial pressure of each volatile constituent is equals to option A, vapor pressure of the pure constituent divided by the mole fraction. Option B, vapor pressure of the pure constituents plus the mole fraction. Option C, vapor pressure of the pure constituents minus by the mole fraction. And option D, it is vapor pressure of the pure constituents multiplied by the mole fraction. Okay, so as this is the statement of the Raoult's law, and you guess it right, that is correct answer is option D. That is the partial pressure of the each volatile constituents is equals to the vapor pressure of the pure constituents multiplied by the mole fraction. Question number 11. How many molecules of the benzoic acid undergo association in nonpolar liquid? Option A it is 1, option B is 2, option C 3, and option D it is a 5. So you guess it right from the diagram, that is the partition coefficient. Correct answer is B, that is a 2. So dimer of the benzoic acid molecules it will form in most of the nonpolar liquids. Question number 12. A solution in which an equilibrium is established between the dissolved and the undissolved solute at the definite temperature and the pressure, it is termed as. First, A, it is your unsaturated solution. B, it is your saturated solution. C, it is your subsaturated solution. And D, it is your supersaturated solution. So, equilibrium between the dissolved and the undissolved particles. So, you guess it right. That is your correct answer. It is your B, that is your saturated solution. Question number 13. Glycerol dissolves in water by which type of your interaction? So first it is a polar solute and polar solvent interaction. B, it is a non-polar solute and the polar solvent interaction. C, polar solute and the non-polar solvent interaction. And option D, it is a non-polar solute and the non-polar solvent interaction. So you should know first of all the nature, that is there are three types of the solvents are there: polar, non-polar and the semi-polar. So water, as you know, that is it is a polar in nature, and you should know the glycerol. Glycerol again, it is you can say that is a polar in nature. So the correct answer it is your A, that is your polar solute and polar solvent interaction. So you should just remember the like dissolves like the phenomena of the solubility. Question number 14. A solution which contain one more of the dissolved solute that it would normally contain in a saturated state at a definite temperature and the pressure is. Option A, unsaturated solution. B, saturated solution. C, subsaturated solution. And the D, it is a supersaturated solution. Okay. So normally, it contains more of the solute. So obviously the answer it is your, you will guess it right, that is the correct answer is D, that is a super saturated solution. So it contains more amount of the dissolved solid that is generally expected. Question 15. Which type or the types of the interaction can be possible in solution process? So A, it is your option A, solute solvent. B, solute solute. And C, it is your solvent solvent. And D, it is your all of the above. Okay. So the correct answer, you guess it right, that is your all of the above. All the three types of your interaction it is possible. Question 16, mole fraction can be expressed as, this is the definition. So A, option A, it is the moles of the constituents. B, the ratio of moles of the one constituents of a solution to the moles of the other constituents. C, the ratio of moles of the one constituent of a solution to the total moles of all constituents. And the option D, the ratio of total moles of all the constituents of a solution to the moles of the one constituents. So definition, you guess it right. The correct answer is C, that is the mole fraction is equals to ratio of the moles of the one constituents of a solution to the total moles of all constituents. Question number 17. The solubility of the substance in a solvent depends on option A, temperature, B, nature of the solvent, C, molecular structure, and D, it is all of the above. Okay, so the correct answer is your D, all of the above. It is depends on many factors are affecting on the solubility. So temperature, then nature of the solvent, molecular structure, then you can say it is a polarity, then pK, dissociation constant. So the from the above option, the correct option it is all of the above. Question 18. The maximum amount of the solute that can dissolve in given quantity of the solvent at ambient temperature is termed as option A, dissolution, option B, solubility, option C, partition coefficient, and the D, it is a diffusion. So the correct answer is your B, it is a solubility. Okay. So the solubility, the definition of the solubility, the maximum amount of the solute that can be dissolved in a given quantity of the solvent at the stated or the ambient temperature, that is called as the solubility. Question 19, if the extra solute added, then it will not dissolve in. So remember, it is a not dissolves in. A, option A, it is a dilute solution. B, it is your unsaturated solution. C, it is your saturated solution. And D, it is your all of the above. So the correct answer, it is a C, saturated solution, because the solution it is already saturated, it already contain undissolved solute. So if you added any extra solute, then it is not going to dissolve, but it will dissolve into dilute solution and the unsaturated solution because it contains lower amount of the solute. Okay, for the saturation. Question number 20. With increase in the temperature, the solubility of the gas in the liquid. It is option A increases, B decreases, C remains constant, and D it is a initially increases and then it is decreases. Okay, so you guess it right. That is a correct answer is your B. That is a decreases. So in case of your solubility of the gas in the liquids, as the temperature increases, the solubility is a decreases due to the more expansion of the gases. Question number 21. The polar solvent dissolves solute by option A, polar interaction, B, it is your ionization of the solute, option C, formation of the hydrogen bond, and D, it is your all of the above. So the correct answer, it is your D, that is your all of the above. Okay, so whether your substance it is a polar, if it is a ionic, and if it is able to form the hydrogen bond as per the Hildebrand concept, then your polar solute it can be dissolved. Polar solute it can be dissolved into the polar solvents. So the correct option, all of the above. Question 22. Phenols, alcohols, aldehydes, and ketones and the amines can dissolve in the water due to option A, polar-polar interaction, B, it is a ionization, C, formation of the hydrogen bond, and D, it is a induced-dipole interaction. So the correct answer, it is a C, formation of your hydrogen bond. Okay, so as per the Hildebrand concept, the phenol, the ketone, then alcohols, aldehydes, and the amines. There is a possibility of the formation of the hydrogen bond, and due to that, these substances are soluble into the water. Question number 23. Polar and the ionic solutes are insoluble in the non-polar solvents due to option A. Non-polar solvents are unable to reduce the attraction between the ions of the strong and the weak electrolytes because of the solvent low dielectric constant. B. Non-polar solvents can't break the covalent bond and not able to form the hydrogen bond. Option C. Non-polar solvents can't ionize the weak electrolytes and because they belong to the group known as the aprotic solvent. And option D, it is your all of the above. So the correct answer, it is your D, all of the above. So like your NaCl, when it is added into the benzene, then in that case the benzene not able to reduce the attraction between the sodium and the chloride ion, not able to break the covalent bond between the or ionic bond between the sodium and the chloride, again not able to form the hydrogen bond. Okay, so there is no benzene do not have the ability to form the hydrogen bond with the NaCl. And finally it is not able to can't ionize the weak electrolyte. So like any weak electrolyte, if it is added, still these non-polar solvents not able to ionize this because they are belongs to the group that is a aprotic solvent. So option D, it is correct. Question number 24. Followings are the examples of the polar solvent except. So A, it is your water, B, it is your acetone, C, it is your polyethylene glycol, and D, it is your chloroform. The right answer, it is your D, that is your chloroform. Water and the polyethylene glycol are polar in nature. Acetone, methanol, and ethanol, these are semipolar in nature. And chloroform, it is your non-polar in nature. So that's why the correct answer, it is your D, chloroform. Question number 25. A chemical reaction in which the oppositely charged ion come together to form a distinct chemical entity. It is termed as option A, association, B, it is your dissociation, C, it is your solvation, and D, it is your dissolution. The correct answer is that is your option A, that is your association. Okay, so two oppositely charged ion, they attract towards each other and undergo there is a formation of the bond, it will takes place. Okay, so the association, it will the correct option, it is your A, association. Question number 26. In case of negative deviation in the Raoult's law, option A, it is your cohesive forces are more than adhesive. Option B, adhesive forces are more than the cohesive forces. Then C, it is your cohesive forces are more than the adhesive forces. And D, it is your independent upon it. So the correct answer, it is your option B, that is adhesive forces are more than the cohesive forces. Question number 27. A phenomena in which the solvent interact with the molecule or the ion of the solute, which leads to stabilization of the solute species in the solution, is called as, that is A, association, B, dissociation, C, solvation, and the D, it is a dissolution. Okay, so the correct answer, it is a C, it is a solvation. So in case of your solvation, the solvent molecule, it form the a sheet of the solvent around the ions or the molecules, and due to that the dissolution of the solubility, it will occur. So correct answer, it is a solvation. Question number 28. In general, the solubility of the solutes uh, dash dash with increase in the temperature in a given solvent. So as the temperature increases, the solubility of the solids, whether it is option A, it is your increases, B, it is your decreases, C, it is your remains constant, and D, initially increases and then decreases. So correct answer, you guess it right, that is your A, it is your increases. So as the temperature increases, generally the solubility of the solids in the liquids, it is increases because these are directly proportional. Question number 29. When a strong electrolyte is added into the carbonated water, liberation of the gas will take place due to option A, decrease in the pressure, option B, increase in the temperature, C, it is a salting out, and the D, it is a chemical reaction. So the correct answer, option C, that is a salting out. So now you can do this experiment. That is your, suppose if you take the carbonated suppose drinks, then like your Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or any other, if you can say the carbonated drink, in that perform this experiment, add small quantity of the NaCl. Okay, so the rate of bubbling out, it will be increases. Okay, so this phenomenon, it is called as the salting out. And question 30, it is your CST stands for. So option A, critical solubility temperature, B, critical solution temperature, option C, critical solvent temperature, and D, it is a critical solute temperature. So CST, the long form of the CST, it is a option B, that is critical solution temperature. This is all about the MCQs of the solubility of the drugs. If you like this video, do like, share, and the subscribe with your friends, and for and on my channel for more videos. Thank you so much.